You might want to sit over here, or I'll sit over there. Come over here, down here, son. What I wonder, right? Okay. Sit in the chair, Jeff.
Get back together and do the show.
Those old band boys. He owns the club in Ingram now. And he got in touch with everybody. I didn't like it. Yeah, that'd be fun.
You think Rocky would be okay to play him?
Oh yeah, I imagine he will. He plays anyway around Austin quite a bit, from what I understand.
Like, how did y'all start the name, the 13th Floor Elevators? How did that originate?
That was Tommy Hall's wife.
Clementine or whatever.
Yeah, Clementine. Just a name she thought of. Wasn't any real purpose behind it or anything, just unusual names in that era.
13th floor elevator, usually not there.
Yeah, 13th floor elevator isn't on the building. 13th floor is not in the building because it's superstitious.
So you get the title of Bull in the Woods off the chewing tobacco? Or is that something?
Yeah, kind of.
Like, what is a slide machine?
Well, it was a political song. People mistake it for rigs or, hypodermic syringes. A lot of people thought that's what it meant, but it wasn't. It was a political idea at the time. And only Pal St. John could explain it because he's the one that wrote it.
Who was he? He wrote slot machine. You don't know. Kingdom Pain.
He was a writer and harp player. He was going to University of Texas College, same time Tommy was, and he played with Mother Earth. And is in San Francisco right now, I think, still writing.
He never played with the band. He just wrote.
He played with a group called the Conqueror at the time. He started it actually, and then joined Mother Earth after that, Tracy Nelson, and played with them for few years, and then they disbanded for a while, and he never got back with them. I think he's in San Francisco by Berkeley now, still writing.
Is Tommy up by Berkeley?
He's in San Francisco.
Like, what do they mean, like, been down south with a youth slide machine? Is it a political machine to get votes in?
I think it had something to do with that. It's been so long, I hardly remember what he told us when he wrote the song. It was something political, though. I remember that. A lot of people thought it was syringes, but it wasn't. Because nobody in the band was using them at the time.
Yeah. I'm not sure about this next question because on my album it has a skip right there, so I couldn't really understand the words. Like, is it Maltese or trucks or in the lows that they know or something like that? What is that? Can you remember that?
Tandem trucks.
Tandem trucks. Right there. Really hear it too far.
Yeah.
Like, what were some of your...
They probably did that when it was brand new.
Were you, like, the recording of these albums, were you just conscious of it being inferior recording as you were recording it? What were you, thinking of and stuff like that?
Well, we knew it was going to be inferior. All of them except the first one, which we flew into Dallas and recorded parts of in different studios around Dallas. And we were just hoping to build to a better studio, but it never got any better. They just kept us, in lesser studios, and finally they owned major stock in a Gold Star for a while. That's where we wound up doing the last ones. Some of them one of them with Andrus. And the first hit was done at Andrus Studios.
You remember this?
Yeah, that was here in Houston. And East Everywhere was cut at his studio here in Houston. Do you remember where that studio was? I can't remember those streets. Broadway, yeah.
Is that still around today, or is that just something?
Well, I think he moved most of his machinery to Rock Springs for a while and was building a studio there, but then he gave up on that. And I think he's got his machinery back in Houston now, but no studio.
What, like, comparatively speaking, like, to all the recordings around then, and, like, whatever happened, I'm not sure how you record stuff, but, like, they talk of some, like, master tapes of your recording, you know, whatever happened to them, whatever, you know, you think you could...
Well, I've heard rumors that a couple of different people have got of them. Do you remember that one was named John, something? Bartlett. John Bartlett has one in San Francisco, supposedly, and our drummer has one. But the,
John Ike?
Yeah, John Ike has one. And, I ran into, Noel Ginther and Dillard a while back, and Bill Dillard, one of the owners of the company, had 3 of them, he said.
What, a master tape is just the whole album or something, or just...
The original cut, original tape done. Yeah, I know.
The bonfire.
Yeah.
Serious bonfire. Raw silver.
Would you like to see these albums out again, because it's just really rare to find, and they're just expensive? Would you like to see them out, like, on a public market and stuff?
Sure would. I mean, I'd be glad to see them out, but still probably wouldn't get a nickel out of it.
Yeah. Would you even want them out, even though you wouldn't get any kind of royalties from them?
Sure, as long as people enjoyed it.
It's kind of, you know, unthinkable just to have those records that, you know, you worked on and they aren't even made anymore and stuff.
Did Tommy do, like, I'm not sure what he did on albums. Did he do the background vocals?
He generally wrote most of the words, and did background vocals.
And Jug, did he like play acoustic guitar?
He had, towards the end, got where he wrote some with the guitar. He was just starting to learn it when the group finally disbanded.
But he's just like mostly the writer and the singer,
Yeah.
background vocals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you just blow on the jug and that's what makes, like, you know, a bottle of Coke or something, you just go, you know, to make that sound, or how do you do it?
Yeah, well, he tried several different techniques about blowing in it and getting the hollow sound, like, you know, a jug is originally blown in bluegrass music, and then just making different noises, using echo chambers with it, whatever.
Like, what other people influenced you around this time? Was it just mostly on your other self, or?
Oh, we enjoyed, I guess, the same groups everybody enjoyed in that era. Dylan influenced our music a lot, and we enjoyed the Beatles and the Stones, and then we listened to a few underground groups that weren't really popular in those days, jazz groups. And some early jazz like Thelonious Monk, Miles Davis, and a group called the Holy Modal Rounders. Just sort of underground music in that era.
Could you buy these records at every place? What do you mean by underground stuff?
Well, no, you couldn't get them anywhere. We got them out of the University Co-op because they had a really sharp record, shop then that had a lot of music that wasn't really in the public eye.
But this is in Austin, right?
Mm-hmm. That's where we were living at the time.
Like, were y'all ever heavily into, like, Sid Barrett or something like that, the Pink Floyd?
They weren't actually out right then yet. They came out later.
67, 68.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember exactly what year.
Would you say something about the picture on the back of Easter Everywhere?
Well, I couldn't technically explain it to you. I wish Tommy was here so he could do that, but it was just, early Oriental art, and each room signifies a level of consciousness to a higher consciousness. Highest consciousness, God consciousness, which is in the egg, if I remember right. to symbol a rebirth.
Which was in what?
Each little room in the man,
Right.
symbols the level of consciousness.
Or did he just come across that picture?
I found it in a book of Oriental art.
This is, do you feel like the acid helped you reach God? You were saying how early, you definitely believe that God had, made acid.
Well, I think acid helped enlighten me quite a bit, made me more aware at the time. Yeah.
What do you think about, God today, as maybe compared to back then? Do you have any different ideas, or is it about the same?
Well, it's the same, a lot, just more expanded ideas. Like, I don't try to categorize him as I possibly did then, because it was more limited understanding what I believe God to be. More of like a church-oriented and just one definition.
Now,
it's hard to explain in words, really. No, not now. It's like I don't try to define it exactly anymore. Still believe in him, but I don't put any definition on him, really.
There's really no definition.
It's bigger than words.
Was Leland Rogers, was he one of the people who ripped the elevators off?
I think so. I think Leland was probably sharper than the other two involved, because he had been in the record business for some time,
Did he make money off of it?
Yeah, I think that what Leland did was he had a hand in black marketing the albums in mass quantities right before he split from the company, because he saw there was going to be a hijacking all the way around, and told us at the time to leave the company as the first opportunity, but we didn't listen to him. We should have. He was right. I think he was getting out of it.
International company.
Yeah, international artist. Because he saw that it was going to be a hijacking of some sort, and so he made his money by black marketing albums. Got his share of it and split.
Was he just like an older kind of businessman?
Yeah, he had been in the music business for some time. He had helped Sonny and Cher a while back. His brother's Kenny Rogers of the Fifth Edition, and he'd been in the music business for about, I think, 15 years or so, and I got a hold of it.
So he was experienced.
Yeah, been around quite a bit. He's still running back and forth between here and California, trying to get something going.
Between y'all and the elevators?
No, he keeps in touch with different ones of us from time to time. We hear from him, but we haven't had any dealings with him since those days.
How do you... I heard various reviews, your Live by Steel concert around 73 or something. How did you like that one? How you felt that one went over?
Well, one bad thing about it was there was no rehearsal time whatsoever. When the group got together, I hadn't seen Rocky in several years. I hadn't seen John Ike in about a year, and it was all by telephone. And we met that night, and the memory of the teams was pretty thin.
Yeah.
Everybody was changing in different places because a lot of our material, had. Well,
did y'all write it down, or was it memory?
It was done by memory at the time. The words were written down when Tommy wrote the lyrics, but the music changes were all by memory while it was fresh with us.
It's not like what Janis Joplin said, you don't write the music, you just make it up.
Yeah, sort of that. Just did it by feeling, spontaneous, a lot of it.
You all can try to get it together a lot better before this next concert near Kerrville.
Well, at least we're going to have a few days to rehearse. Yeah. We ought to be able to work up enough teams. We're not going to be playing all that long, just probably about 30 or 40 minutes per set. We're going to do 2 sets, and I'm sure we can work something out. We'll probably do some Rockies and East stuff too.
Really?
Yeah. And what ones we can remember off the old albums.
What is postures mean? And what is insistent?
Well, it's just more or less axioms that Tommy felt people should live by, sort of, to raise their consciousness.
That was kind of pretty bold words, saying leave your body behind and stuff.
Well, no, he believed that. Actually, probably still does. It's
he leaves his body
Can
still
go
all the time.
I don't know that he ever did. He felt like he was.
Did you feel like
He believed in astral projection. He studied that quite a bit at the time. And like, if he ever actually attained it, I'm not sure, but he really put a sincere effort into it over many years of study. That was his ambition.
Like something you'll see in Doctor Strange comic books or something.
Yeah, well, he read philosophy by people like, you remember Labusang Rampa that wrote The Third Eye, and several other books by, you know him?
Mm-hmm.
And Gurdjieff, philosopher that studied old Indian and Egyptian philosophy. And Labusang Rampa was a Tibetan monk who was raised in a monastery, and by 14 he had left his body, and it was like it was astrally projected above the temple that he was raised in on a card, a silver card that was attached to his body and hovered in the clouds and everything above the monastery. And his fears were demons. Like, he didn't know what it was. The monks in the temple taught him. Finally, these demons would run out and grab his card, and he would lose altitude or whatever and feel like he was falling, and they were going to rip him from his body. But the older monks explained to him that that was his own self-doubt, and finally he was able to travel the cosmosis or whatever.
Reverberation.
And he reincarnated.
Yeah, reverberation stood for doubt.
Hesitation.
So he had to get rid of his doubt first.
Well, yeah, he also went far enough to find a previous existence where he was a doctor here in the United States in a previous life, and came back over here. I think it was somewhere in the southeast. I don't remember exactly what town or state, but found all his records and where he was born and his practice, where he lived and everything.
And the latest reincarnation in the British T-Labusang Rampa. T stands for Tuesday. Tuesday was the day that the Tibetan monk entered his body.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I read it. Started reading it last year. Dig up.
Like, Danny, what were you doing towards like the breakup?
Well, I came in after the first breakup.
Yeah.
Did it seem like a different group totally to you, Stacy, after Ike left?
Well, it was a lot harder changes to go through because of new musicians. You know what I mean? It was
one.
Well,
Dan got one.
no, actually Benny Thurman, our first bass man, is right before that too. Like he had a trouble with amphetamine, and we got Danny Galindo to play bass for us. But at the same time he started drums. So exactly right.
What is he up to these days?
He's in Austin. He was running a printing company for a while. He started a few bands around Austin. One of them named Storm, which was pretty popular for a while. And I don't know if he's in a band right now or not.
This Benny Thurman was the original bass.
Mm-hmm.
First bass man too?
Yeah. He was a first chair violinist for Austin Symphony Orchestra.
Wow.
He was quite a violinist. He played fiddle though more than violin.
He
Played bluegrass and everything. Yeah,
He's gonna play that.
Yeah, we're gonna get him to play fiddle. But he could listen to Mockingbird and stuff like that and make birds sing. When he played Orange Blossom Special, all the wheels that have air brakes and everything, you know. It was cool.
Is this being very much publicized, the concert?
Well, it's had about 2 days on the street in the Montrose area, and that's about it. Yeah, the rain hadn't gone.
What kind of crowd do you think you will see?
We're hoping to get a sizable crowd because of the art festival. Probably more than a Cecil Waltz, really, because Ingram isn't all that big, and they're going to put it in the street out in front of his club. His club wouldn't handle it. It'll be 100. It'll be outside, but Ingram's used to that. They generally have their community affairs out in the street, you know. It's old Ingram. The highway runs right through outside of it, and you turn off and go through the town, which is nothing. It's a grocery store and a post office and Old Dog Saloon now. It used to be the Pastime Club.
Do you expect it to go on anywhere from here, hopefully?
No, not really. No, I don't think
Just kind
I'll
of
ever
fun
come
thing
over
to
this.
do.
Yeah, it's just
Get together.
something everybody enjoyed doing. Helped Cecil with his club. He thought it might help. Pull some customers.
Mm.
Yeah, it will.
Could you explain about the man organizing his knowledge vertically and horizontally?
No, not really. That's where you need timing.
Timing.
That's, I'm sure, some form of expansion, though.
We'll see and all that.
As high as you can get and as wide as you can get, fella.
Like, what was some like the most mystic visions that you had when you were on acid?
Well, it's hard to say exactly. I just remember, like, when I first started taking acid, I guess the strongest visions I ever had were kind of bad, actually, but they could have been because of my background and the way I was raised and everything. But, like, most mystic vision I ever had was concerning a show we did here in Houston at Theater and Around, and I'd taken some acid. I hadn't had any for quite a while. It was a super strong dose, about 1,000 max or something. And we had to do a concert, and all of a sudden everybody started glowing. I had about a foot of light, like a neon light around them in the room.
Neon.
And, yeah, real bright. Everybody started glowing white, and I freaked out that I was going to die or something. I'd had some bad trips before, but nothing like this, And then everybody turned into wolves. And I thought that our band was evil because of some of the things we'd advocated. We had had a controversy going on quite a while about advocating drugs and so forth, and mixing it with religion, because I felt like that was pretty dangerous ground to tread. And Tom and I were arguing about that quite a bit. But anyway, I got on a bummer about it, evidently. And I was trying to escape the room. I don't know what I was going to do, but I was going to get out of there. I didn't want anything to do with it because everybody turned into animals. And then all of a sudden there were angels, and I couldn't move my body anymore. I lost just physical feeling all over, and I was laying on the floor, and everybody turned into angels. And everybody in the room was the judge of my trial to decide whether I was worthy to enter heaven or hell, because it was absolute. I was going to die anyway, Yeah. And there was one good angel, and I felt like I'd been there before many times, not just once, but I'd been in the circumstance with these same people. And the whole time that I was there, I was...
Really, you hadn't you? You've been playing the band?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about with these cosmic spirits. As judges, I knew who they were as people, as mortals, but I knew that they didn't realize what role they played in my existence on this earth. And this one angel told me anyway that 2 or 3 different events were going to take place in my life, and every one of them came true within 2 years. Okay. And that was
probably major events.
Yeah, they were major. One of them was the end of an 8-year relationship with a girl I've been going with. One of them was when I was going to the penitentiary, and I went to the penitentiary. And the third one hadn't come true yet, and I don't hope it doesn't. But it was really a mystical experience. It was like at the time I knew without a doubt it was true. There was no denying it. And I even tried to convince myself when I came down a week later, it took me about a week to get off that trip, that it was all just a bad experience on acid, and I didn't pay any more attention to it until these events would take place, and then I would remember, because it's always with me. I always will remember that experience. And I had 3 or 4 like that concerning the group getting together. They were on a lighter scale about the fact that the timing and everything, it seemed like it was meant to be, and then we had some musical experiences that are hard to explain with words, about timing and so forth when we were playing. That was just like there's no way I could explain it. It's just something really magic in the group.
Yeah.
When we played, that I could feel it was like a power that I've never experienced before or since.
That's what the Beatles say, that they felt some kind of magic in their relationship between the 4 stuff. It's just
it was some kind of musical communication or something that was just extraordinary as far as anything I've ever experienced.
Were y'all playing on acid most of the time?
Yeah, we did all our shows and all our recordings on acid.
Do you feel like there'd be a lot of people on acid after this?
I doubt it. I don't think acid is around all that much anymore. Certainly not the degree it was then. There's still people eat it, but not like then, you know.
Do you feel like it was the answer then?
I think that it was a major purpose, had a major purpose in mankind, and I don't fully understand why. I don't think that it does anymore. I don't think that people have the same reactions or it has the same effect on people now, possibly because of the culture or the change or whatever is taking place, but it was definitely different then.
Seems like then is everything, so new, comparatively speaking. Now there's so much doubt filled in everybody's mind about the drugs and about people flipping out and stuff like that.
There was a lot more positive attitude concerning acids masculine then, I think, than there is now. On a mass scale, anyway.
When did you start doing heroin?
About the time the group started breaking up and everything. I got on amphetamines for a while. Speed, because I felt like it brought me down. We were all a little bit blown out because after a few years of that, everybody was pretty spacey. And I started noticing that Rocky was having a really bad time, an exceptional bad time with it. And I got leery of it because the bad trips I started having were more frequent. Like I could count in 1 out of every 5 being a really, bum time. And so I got where I didn't trust it or didn't trust the advocation of it or whatever, except for select individuals, that were profiting from the use of it. And I saw that it was deteriorating the group. So I started backing down then, and but I still had sort of a bad grasp on self-confidence or whatever, and plus some troubles that were bothering me at that time of my life, and I used it unconsciously as a crutch, just like, people drank or whatever, and got involved with it that way, unintentionally, till it really had a grip on me, and then I just switched to heroin because of the speed. It turned me into a nervous wreck, and the heroin calmed me. And it was just a long bout of not snapping, really.
Didn't the heroin calm you too much?
Yeah, way too much. It got a hold of me.
Isn't heroin like really expensive and stuff?
Yeah, it really is.
How'd you get by? Was this off the money you made from your gigs and stuff?
Well, no. It's like I really knew enough people at the time because of our music and everything that it wasn't all that hard. It wasn't unavailable for a long time. Plus, I could score for somebody anytime I wanted to, and generally stay stoned, But I didn't have to steal or anything like that for it, Worst thing about it was it just made me totally non-productive and non-creative for a long time.
So, like,
you have to start playing the guitar all over again.
Yeah, it was sort of like starting all over because I lost about 3 years with it.
Your mother said, "We're nice and calm and easy to get along with."
Yeah.
It's a shame it's so expensive.
Was your mom aware of all this and stuff?
Not till it was over. Right at the end.
I had a question about the relationship of objects, but I just want to ask that since time is up.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of the philosophy I need him to explain because that was his
you
brand.
Expect him to be here?
Sure hoping so. Not positive though. He's the one person not sure of really.
Like
that, and if Rocky flips out, that would be the next thing and doesn't show up. But I think they'll probably go.
Do you feel like you would recognize him today, Tommy? Yes.
Oh yeah, I feel certain I would.
Was the group breaking down? What was this like? What do you think of like the Woodstock experiment and stuff like that? That these people, that was going on.
I thought it was a good thing at the time, good idea, and I was really fascinated by it at first. But I think anytime you put large masses of people together, you're gonna have destruction and hysteria and whatever, And it's proved to be a pretty bad effort most of the time since.
Wasn't Monterey Pop Fest one of those big things? Wasn't it kind of like the first two?
Well, I didn't really attend any of them, but yeah, I think so. I think it was probably one of the most
Precious, it was
successful.
just, everybody was on it.
It seemed like it was one of the easiest going ones without hassles.
I mean, didn't it just rain a whole lot at Woodstock and stuff?
Yeah, it's really bad. You see that movie?
Yeah.
Tony?
It's so terrible. There's no way to get out of the rain.
Hello, Tony. How are you? Get up. We're having an interview.
Was tried to hide basically about people in the 60s movement who really weren't getting into it, but acting like they were, really straight conservatives.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about a girl, just like a sort of a mix between a girl that Tommy knew at the time, I think. And that's what she symbolized.
She just couldn't get into it.
Sort of just going along with fad and trend and whatever,
Right,
but really had no purpose in it. There was quite a crew of those kind of people during that era. Still are, of course.
In anything, they always get those kind of people get involved. Kind of take the purity out of it.
Like when y'all went to San Francisco and stuff, were y'all playing at the Fillmore?
They would put it at the Fillmore and Avalon.
What impression did Bill Graham give on you? Because a lot of people signify him as being a rip-off.
Well, Bill Graham struck me as sort of a hardcore character, but I always respect him from a business standpoint and his taste in music, But he was sort of a standoffish cat and never did talk much more than just greetings, hello.
Have you ever seen that film of it's like Fillmore Easter, the last days of the Fillmore or something?
Didn't see it. I wanted to. I didn't go see it.
He just seems like
How are you doing?
He just seems like a real motherfucker.
Yeah. He's a pretty strange dude. He really is, but he sure is a good businessman.
What was happening in California, like when y'all were out there playing? Was it just about the 60s and all that? Was it quite a lot ahead here?
Well, I think they like to believe that.
Yeah,
but they weren't.
I know. I was kind of finding that out.
It's like their culture had definitely been into drugs more so. I think at the time, and it was like it was more advanced in senses, but I don't know, it didn't have a freshness that Texas had too. It was more washed out. Like one of the things that disappointed me when I first got out there was walk I took down Haight Street, which was supposed to be where all the beautiful people were at the time, and like I didn't see anything but derelicts and dope fiends running around the street freaked out, and shot up and whatever, begging money off people. And it wasn't anything like I was looking forward to seeing. It didn't have the freshness Texas did at the time.
Did it kind of disappoint you, bro?
Yeah, it did kind of disappoint me. And but I don't know. It disappointed me. That's what I was saying about
it. Did the rest of the group feel the same way about it?
Yeah. I think so. I think everybody did.
I'm kind of glad to come back.
I mean, we were interested in the culture and everything, and to see it all, naturally.
You've heard so much about it.
And there were a lot of really groovy people there and everything, but it was just different. It was like, although they had been into drugs possibly considerably longer, they weren't more spiritually sincere or more, I can't think of a word to say it, advanced necessarily than Texas.
Yeah. A lot of them were out to make money just like anybody else.
Right?
Yeah. We were talking last time about William Burroughs
and
being author of Naked Lunch Show. And I was wondering what other authors have influenced your thinking? What do you like to read?
Oh Lord, didn't cover just about anything. I just like Oh man, I just like just about anything. I don't read anybody in particular. I don't have anybody that you'd call a favorite author really. Like I
Gordon
just,
Watson.
yeah, been reading some Watson and of course, just different books,
Were you
whatever catches my eye.
were you into like the Herman Hesse and that kind of stuff, the Eastern stuff, some more spiritual stuff?
Well, I read a couple of his books, but no, I never was into that time. It was more into Eastern philosophy. He studied philosophy as a philosophy graduate, but I never did spend that much time with it.
Well, like, what do you mean, like Easter everywhere?
Well, his idea was to combine Eastern and Western religion in a way that exposed it to everybody, the similarities and what ways they coincide just because they might have had different words. A lot of the ideas were actually the same. They were just worded different. He was trying to combine them into one idea.
What are your religious beliefs now, or do you
Well,
have any different?
I believe in God the same way I did then, just like I was telling them earlier. No definition. I don't have any exact. I'm not a member of any particular faith, if that's what you mean or anything. I still believe in God. It's a personal thing.
What do you think of Jesus Christ?
I believe in him.
You believe that he was more than just a good preacher or whatever? You believe he was possibly the Son of God?
Yes, I do believe that. I believe it without a doubt he's the Son of God, the greatest mystic in the world.
Do you think that, I think you told us this last time, but I like to ask again, you think that acid helped you see God or see some mystic revelation?
Yeah, well, I believe it expanded me. I don't know if you could actually see God, because not defining God, it would be hard to say that I've seen him, and because I don't define him really. But yeah, I think acid really started me thinking about it for sure. And less defined terms. Like before that, all the religion that I'd had was just through the church and the way I was raised. And the ideas that acid gave me were much more expanded. You know what I mean? And the words took on new connotation.
Right, you just accepted what you've been taught before,
Right.
And then you can see it kind of for yourself.
Right. It meant more. It's like when I was a kid in church and they told me the kingdom of heaven is within you. I just took that point blank to be true. I never actually thought of the kingdom of heaven being within me, or within you, or whatever,
But then you saw it for yourself.
Yeah. Saw the absolute reality of that statement.
Damon, did you feel the like, did you feel as it brought you closer to God?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get any, like, just, did it, like, you get any heavy religious experiences off of it?
Yeah, when we were playing at Rice University one time, I felt as though I was watching what was going on, rather than having to be responsible for making decisions about how I would play or what I would play. It's like it was totally second nature.
You could just do it. You could do it, but you were somewhere else.
Yeah.
What are some of the most incredible visions? Do you recall any visions that you've had that you could describe?
You tell us about one when they were playing.
I thought of another one that was kind of far out one time, well, two more. One of them was kind of a deja vu experience. I had a couple of friends fishing, and on acid one time, after I'd taken acid, I had a dream about a fishing hole, and we'd been fishing all day, and I knew when I went up over this hill and saw this place that I'd never been there before, and we hadn't caught a fish all day, that I was going to catch a fish, and I called them up there because I'd seen it on acid, and I threw my line out and caught a bass. Told them I was going to, and I'd seen that before. And then another time I was in a club, one experience I had, and auditory hallucinations or whatever, I heard these choirs singing in the background. All of a sudden, there was all these voices and power that we weren't actually doing, sounds. And it caused such power while I was playing that my guitar started floating up in the air. That sounds crazy, but it's true. It really was. I was pushing on it. I could feel it raising up in the air. And there was a blue light coming on the card up the instrument that was running all over my body, glowing.
Did y'all have like light shows and stuff while y'all playing?
Oh yeah, a lot of people, a lot of clubs then. That was sort of the thing.
Did that freak you out? Anyway.
Only time it ever freaked me is one time I thought a light show was Hades when I was walking into it because I was already freaked out, and I thought that it was a burning ball of fire and that we were entering Hades. But no, they never distracted me or anything. I always thought some were pretty interesting, really, if they were really good. Still like to see one, a good one. Avalon had the best one I ever saw. They showed old films and art films and everything and watercolors and all that all over the walls, all the way around the whole building, There'd be like 5 or 6 projectors going at once, different effects. It was really, really fun to watch.
How often are y'all dropping at this time?
Too much. Finally, when it was readily available, it got to be nearly an everyday thing for a long time. Like for a year there, we ate it nearly every day. And then other than that, I'd say at least once or twice a week. All in all, for a period of nearly 5 years.
As you, like you were saying, we're having bad trips, even though you're having bad trips every once in a while, you're still taking it.
Yeah, we thought that bad trips were caused by doubt and inner fears of ourselves.
So you just tried to get rid of those doubts.
Tried to overcome it, just bow down and keep going, But then finally I noticed that even when people weren't on bad trips, they still were on bad trips, if you know what I mean. They were so high, they were spaced out to the point where they didn't need acid, and they were still flipped.
Yeah, they didn't even know.
When you said that, you still believe that it's somebody's mental state before they drop it, determine the trip.
Oh yeah.
That
a whole lot. So I believe that.
I know myself.
I did at the time, really.
Yeah. Even sometimes, when you're just smoking, you can before you smoke, you're just a little bit worried about what's going on.
Yeah, make you irritable, kind of.
And after you smoke, you just start getting paranoid.
That's true.
Get really afraid.
I think, it just intensifies whatever emotion and little state you're in at the time, really. If you're in a happy place and enjoying yourself, it intensifies, and if you're in a negative place, it does the same. To make it worse, unless you're able, it relaxes you. Like, people have different reactions. She says it calms her down, If she feels an intense place and it intensifies mine, it's just however it affects you.
This is kind of an off-the-track question, but it's kind of about psychedelics. But do you consider the Grateful Dead psychedelic, or just country?
Oh yeah, sure.
Psychedelic.
They were probably the most sincerely involved with acid at that time when we were out there than any band that we met. Really? Yeah, they'd been living in the mountains and taking acid with spiritual sincerity. You know what I mean?
They were really sincere.
Oh yeah.
And they gave many free concerts too.
Oh yeah, and benefits, and had a true concern for people in the scene itself.
Are they like that anymore? Well,
I think so. I think they've gotten into business so forth that they've made it, and they're not
concerned with.
Well, they're more separate now. They're not a nucleus that they were then naturally when they were struggling to make it.
Right.
They're more divided and into their own personal endeavors.
Are you feeling the same about them as the Airplane said?
Well, I never was that fond of the Airplane. I enjoyed the Airplane's music a lot and everything, but at the time, like when we were out there, we were booked over them. Some, it was right before they really started making it, and I don't know, they just sort of struck me as amateurs in every sense of the word, really. I think they became, quite a sharp group over the years, and they stuck it through, they stuck it out and made it. But at the time, I didn't really enjoy them that much.
But wouldn't you say, too, also that would you think possibly that their lyrics were too concerned with violence?
Oh yeah, right. They were too much of a radical group, and like kind of a junior jive-esque trip at the time,
For instance, just
They were hitting aspects of it that were really unimportant, totally,
so it seems like when other people were talking about, like things like universal love and all, they were thinking about like kill the pig and
Yeah, and trying to convince everybody how high they were, and all the everything that they saw like they were some mystic or something, They just flipped out like everybody else.
Do you listen to any other kinds of music besides rock, the jazz?
Well, yeah, I listen to it on opportunity. I don't happen to have any, really, but I enjoy all kinds of music, like I say, except probably opera, and that's only because I don't understand it, But I enjoy classical music and jazz, country music, everything.
Tibet trance.
I hadn't tried any of that.
You can buy it around some of the stores here. That sounds pretty interesting.
You heard the album with the Whalers? And we had about 5 years ago, the Whale Sounds.
Pound of the One Humpback Whale?
Yeah.
I have that. That is fine. Yeah, I like mine just real. You can get this on very cheap a lot of times too. Like, there's some labels that are devoted, like, to just very weird stuff, They're only for like $2.98 or.
What is it, Music Wells, Mike?
I think they played that on a beat thing.
Oh, really?
You heard that?
Yeah.
Is it blowing? You mean to make other spouts and stuff?
Yeah.
That's interesting. You get there's some very strange sounds. Also, are you into like the purely electronic music, some of it?
I've been getting into keys for about the past 6 years. Synthesizers, really not.
Like some of the German stuff. It's like just all electronics. Just very strange sounds.
What do you mean by German?
Okay, well, like there's a group, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, called Tangerine Dream. And what it is 3 men in the group, and they all play different kinds of electronics. Synthesizer, it's totally cosmic. It's like unlike anything you've ever heard before. Like, Roman Store Cactus down there?
Yeah.
They have a very large selection, like influence.
I think that the advent of the synthesizer basically it's almost like the advent of the organ, when that came along to duplicate the various instruments, the violin, flute, synthesizers really getting to the point where it's hard to tell whether or not it's a string section or a synthesizer.
It really is. It can imitate almost any instrument.
It's very, I think synthetic music is a very step toward what music's going to be in the future.
Could I possibly take a few of these and put them around in my neighborhood?
I love it.
Other side of town.
Sure, we appreciate
That's a
it.
really wicked picture of you in the back of East River with that cigarette.
Clement,
That would help us a lot, man. Appreciate it.
she could have said,
Sure,
I want to have a nice smiling picture.
Should y'all just take a bunch of pictures?
Who was it? Guy Clark. Yeah, he sent somebody going into
Last time we were here,
the music business and it's been successful. Had
just
a
got a
small
guitar stolen and he got it in there.
He used to
Get that back. I guess
Well,
you could get it back.
No, I might possibly get it back yet.
Really?
Heard word of it around the neighborhood, and people would call me and told me that they're finding out where it's at.
for this
And
gig
I'm
next
just
week.
sort of hoping to get it back.
I don't
Great.
know if you're gonna tell me where that all I'm
Should
missing
have
is
been
the
Hey, you just been going around the place and you said,
No, no, back in North Carolina.
This is the new
bar. This is nice fresh. Was it all new? Yeah.
How'd you get it? I don't think there's one on West End.
Yeah.
Bigger.
You know about it here.
Or else I-
And one night I was jamming in Austin.
A friend of mine gave me that finger there.
Just at that time,
It's nice and pretty.
Yeah, really. That's one of the nicer gifts I ever had. Came in right on time, too.
Stacy, how did you get back to this with Rocky? How did all this come about?
Oh, Cecil, he used to be a band boy. He's a musician himself now. He's been playing in Tennessee on and off for the last 4 years now. He owns part ownership of that club. in Old Ingram, and like he called everybody up. I hadn't seen any of the group myself yet, even talked to him.
Hadn't talked to Rocky or
But he's called them up. He's seen everybody, and agreed to get together. You know, John Ike and Ronnie both live there in Kerrville anyway. That's right by Kerrville, just right down the road, you know.
6 miles.
And so he wanted to do it because he's trying to get his club going, you know, and everything. He thought that'd be an added attraction for people to come to see the art festival. There'll be quite a crowd there anyway for the art festival. And he's just hoping to pull some business down there. I thought the free cake and free beer was pretty nice thing, but I don't know how he's going to pull that off. If he hasn't a crowd at all, they may be out of beer by 9 or 10 that night, you know. But if people get there early, they can get a good buzz going anyway.
Yeah.
2 a.m. 2 p.m.
That's 12 hours.
Y'all gonna bring the jug?
If Tommy can make it, man, he's one person doubtful that'll be there because he's in San Francisco. You know.
Is Tommy the one who played the?
Yeah. He's one who played the jug.
Seems like I don't see how I could get the breath to do that.
Get the what?
The breath.
Oh yeah, I don't either. I think he hyperventilated.
Y'all, do you have any? Okay, so like, Danny's the only one you know, the only elevator you're in touch with.
Yeah, that I've seen in about a year. Like I said, John Ike and Ronnie are in Kerrville. I saw them right before I moved to Houston, and they're already there, so it's easy for them to appear. And then Rocky is in Austin. Benny Thurman's in Austin. It's just 90 miles from Kerrville, so it's no hassle for everybody to get together.
The sun rising like you're gonna miss me. You're gonna wake up one morning.
This is kind of.
Bunny did that poster.
Oh really? Yeah, you're gonna miss me, Brian.
I never. I
Running out of ink.
haven't covered the first 2 hours at all. He said take the tune off the dollar bill. Started running out of time really.
A friend of mine want to ask you this question. Stacy, do you know any good banjo teachers around town? Because he's starting the bluegrass and he has a banjo teacher now that he can't feel like he's going anywhere.
Well, if you'd make a phone call to John Ike Walton in Kerrville, Texas, or if you call me when I go to Kerrville, I'll make a note to ask him. He used to take banjo lessons from a really good dude here in Houston. He lived here for a long time. And he's great. John Ike plays banjo nearly as well as he played drums. He plays like Buck Trent, does all the key twisting and everything with his left. And it was a teacher here in Houston. I think it was a highway patrolman or something.
Still around?
Ought to be. Ought to be still around. I can ask, but other than that, I don't personally know any banjo teachers. I know a few people that frail them, but anybody that plays banjo knows if it's strum them, It's not actually finger picking or anything. Banjo's pretty rare instrument to come by. He frails it, beats on it like that. I imagine this guy wants to get into the intricacy of it.
Yeah, he's gotten pretty far as it is. He doesn't feel like he's going anywhere at this point.
We play Earl Scruggs stuff.
Yeah, Earl Scruggs.
Buck Trent.
No Title Yet blues.
That's probably about the best teacher you can get if you just work out that stuff and take it from there. I don't know anybody any better than Earl Scruggs on banjo. John Ike always used to play that Foggy Mountain Breakdown. And
that's what he played.
So you're in the country pretty much now.
Getting more into it. I've always enjoyed listening to it, but I've never learned that much of it. I'm just starting to get into it, really. Plan to do more of it.
Are you at all into film?
Sure could be with some money.
It's like 350s pretty much every now and again. But I mean, like.
Oh, you mean into seeing films? I thought you meant making them.
Oh, well, would you be into that?
Oh yeah, that's what I thought you meant. I enjoy, you know, going to see things with interest, but I don't go to the movies all that much.
I was just wondering because around that time, experimentation, like films were revolutionized and weird things started happening there as well as like in music. Back when y'all were
Mm-hmm. That's true. A lot of experiments. We went and saw Lenny the other night. Have y'all seen that? About Lenny Bruce, life story of Lenny Bruce.
I saw the film.
Yeah, that's the
Lenny,
house one.
yeah,
Yeah.
that. I liked it. I never knew that much about Lenny Bruce other than that he, was a victim of like
Social.
yeah. How they picked on him for the obscenities that might have sympathize with it. But
He was sort of a fanatic, but he really had a statement at the time.
yeah,
It had a lot to do, I think, with freedom of speech. Liberalizing the pressure at that time.
he was a heroin OD when
Yeah, I think he went through a bunch of stuff, though, speed and everything. He said that at first probably gave him his gift of rap. Gave him talk.
And he had a collection of scripts from doctors all over the country. Anytime you get a doctor in the audience, they can talk him into something for his novelist.
I imagine he got into junk, too, probably from all the deadgum arrests and social pressures, too, that were placed on him at the time. I imagine he was a nervous wreck, because every time for a while there, he did a show nearly, they'd arrest him,
They'd have police in the audience.
And like he told him at the end, if you remember, he said he wanted to be his own lawyer, and the judge told him he couldn't, and he told him, well, I don't have any more money, I can't afford a lawyer. So why don't you just sentence him now? The judge told him, I can't do that. I suggest you get another lawyer.
They,
Of course, though, at $100 a day or however much he was shooting, he probably could have afforded one too. Whatever. Yeah, but he was still doing that dope.
Danny, did you
That's what I'm at.
ever get
$100 a day will go pretty far.
Never did. You never. When did you like it?
Hallucinogen.
Yeah.
The only thing I would trust.
Oh, really?
I just didn't talk like I never know. About 3 years.
About when was
That was pretty tough. 67 to 69.
So you never got into the speed or any of that?
I do some speed up and then do heavy load stuff. But that was moderate. And also we do things that we type speed, which is why it's not good for you.
Yeah, that's what he was
Stayed up. How long was it? 4 days a night?
Well, 3 engineers in one session.
That's why it sounds like it does too. We never rested or slept or ate or anything. Just kept playing. Wear one engineer out and another to come in.
So you're not as pleased with Full of the Woods?
Oh no, man! It'd be fine with me if that one was destroyed totally. Really. We're just trying to keep the group together more or less, and hoping Rock could get out of the hospital and get back together.
He did one song on that.
Pardon?
He did one song.
No, he did 3 on that. He did Never Another, Living On, and May the Circle Remain Unbroken.
Danny, is your favorite Easter Everywhere or the first?
Well, being the second drummer, my favorite is the original music.
Right.
Because I would have an opportunity to play it or performing. But wasn't able to be a part of putting it together, so it's always been something that I could never completely have. And so it's a challenge on it. But as far as the stuff that I would.
If y'all want to smoke, come on over here and go in this room, and I'll stand guard out here.
Well,
And it's stand guard for us.
well, yeah, things have changed unrecognizably now. Used to, because like when I was at the Who concert, I was just very standing up. I walked out outside into the aisle where all the police were standing around, and I had a joint in my hand. I was just fucking I didn't realize I walked right by police and if I Shirley goes, why aren't you still in there? She's like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it changed. You said all y'all busted. Danny, you were busted once?
I've been busted. Well, I've never had a stick. I've always gotten been busted.
Oh.
3 times.
What was the what?
It was the gas in a way because they sat there and listened to the rest of the set. They were polite enough to stand by the edge of the stage and wait for it to finish the set, which I thought was a gift because I was worried about them coming up there and taking me off in the middle of the song. They waited till we got through the set and went down and said, "Hello, local police from Baytown, Texas. We have a room for you reserved in our Hilton. Come on down."
I had them jump up on the stage one time when I was playing and grab me
God.
right in the middle of fringe and
Let me take you to the.
and
Beat him with your.
no, I handed one of my guitars, turned up full blast, it started screaming why he didn't know what to do with his and they took me through the crowd, and like the crowd started throwing Coke cups and stuff at them and sort of rushing at them and stuff, and they freaked out to pull their guns out and back into the car, and it really upset this one cop, man. He freaked out because they thought they were going to mob him, you know.
Mm.
And I was on acid and everything. I head spinning around, and he got me in the car, and he told me he was going to kill me. And so I'm going to take you outside of town, and I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to tell him downtown that you tried to take my gun away from me, punk. And he'd go like this at me, you know, and I'd jump and see stars. And I didn't think they were really going to do it, but I was so freaked out on that acid, man, when he turned out on the freeway heading out of Houston, I freaked out, you know, and I started saying, wait a minute, man, can we talk about it?
Talk about fear.
Well, yeah, I freaked out it, man. Finally, though, they took me downtown, turned around. He just wanted to shake me up. He knew I was on acid.
God, that's gonna kill you.
Never thought you'd be glad to be going to the police station.
Oh, yeah, I was really glad, man. I was.
While we're, sort of on the humor side, just since we've got you on tape now, could you please tell us the anecdote about the famous Dick Clark show, was it?
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what part.
The one about, asking who's the head of the group.
Oh, yeah, well, Tommy did that. We just appeared on his show, and came up and said, who's the head of the group? Tommy said, what do you mean, man? We're all heads.
Did y'all catch a lot of shit for that?
Well, it didn't go real well with him, but he let it slide because it wasn't anything he did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he didn't like the group because of it. And he was a pretty sour character, I thought, in real life. But as soon as that camera came on, it was all gleaming, you know, just young, healthy, vibrant American, all-American boy, you know.
What was he like off camera?
A stern businessman. I mean, he had everything going and checking on everything and was head dude, you know, of his show. He kept it moving. He's quite a businessman, but not near as joyful as it seems. You know, that smile is all show. You can believe that.
You said he didn't really like you, but I've heard, didn't you play his show very often?
We did Where the Action Is, which he had a part of, and American Bandstand. We did them one time once a piece. And it was as much for him as us. He didn't pay for it, really. It was a real cheap gig. Like most of it involved promotion, group promotion. That's what we were getting out of it. And he was having a upcoming band on his show, so it was a mutual trade out, you know.
Right.
But they paid expenses, airplanes, and $500, I think, for the show.
I failed to see him. Well, like I said, was it because y'all at the time were concerned with things so far beyond that you were, when you really were big and could have been making just a lot of money, did you lose your money to these people because you just weren't concerned with it at the time, or what happened?
Well, we were just victimized, I guess, by youth more than anything. Just didn't have any real business sense. We thought we did, like we'd hire a lawyer to check contracts out, but the company got a hold of him and told him to tell us there were standard contracts, and the first thing we know, we're locked, stock, and barrel, and he owns part of us, our own lawyer. They'd bought him out on right in the middle of the negotiation, and we signed a contract that was just locked us in, man. We weren't making any money. We'd signed our rights away, our royalties, and whatever.
When did you realize you had?
Well, we didn't ever actually want to go with the company. The funny thing about it was we signed a release to You're Gonna Miss Me to a fellow named Gordon Bynum, which was an independent record promoter here in Houston. And we were already getting fights from major labels and everything, and we were wanting to negotiate with some major labels, but he jumped up, freaked out, and sold that record to an international artist, which was two lawyers in Leland Roger that had never been in the record business before, but wanted to get into it. That was their inspiration, more or less, just the thought of, well, you think this record go, you think we make some money. That's how the record company was started. And so when he sold our record to them, they put it out, and it was a hit, statewide hit, right away. So naturally, that gave us some degree of faith in them. So we agreed to go with them to sign a contract, and then there was a national top 40 shortly thereafter, and we thought things were going to go all right. But that was the best promotional job they ever did. They never put that much promotion into it after that, and we couldn't get away from them. When we just snapped, they weren't what they claimed to be or promised, weren't going to do what they promised. It was too late. Like, they never would come through, and we had our equipment stolen. We went for nearly a year without any instruments to play on or anything. And like, we had to rent instruments to play on and all this.
Were you that big then?
Yeah. It was insane, man. I mean, they wouldn't put any money out. They wanted to take it all in. You know.
Are you at all, in retrospect, are you at all bitter about what happened, or do you?
Well, I'm bitter about the financial aspect, sure. I mean, I feel like, should have had some money out of it, yeah. Because we put 5 years of sincere effort in it, work, too. Because we did work on it, man. Did a lot of traveling, a lot of time invested, and it was for nothing. I've never made a dollar out of it, so to speak, except what we were making on shows back then, and half of that was spent on traveling and buying equipment. They weren't paying for it. We had to pay for all of it, So we didn't come out with any money out of it at all. I started out bitter about that, but other than that, no, I'm really thankful for the experience. It meant a lot to me.
What a great experience it was.
Really was.
Well, so, but you all were just very, very young then.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have had something to do with it.
Too young and a bad choice of lawyers, I believe. But it had a lot to do with it because, I mean, the men that made the money out of it, the company itself, they were just good businessmen, I guess. Call that good. They were pretty sharp people. And they figured out how to make money and did it.
Wasn't there, when you found out what had happened, had they done anything illegal that you could have?
No, our drummers had them under suit going on 10 years or so. I don't know how long. Since right after the group formulated, really. I mean, right after we were signed to him, he's had them under suit and has never been able to pull a thing. The lawyers deserve. I've never seen a breakthrough yet on the case. I don't understand one thing. I don't understand why the ones that have the tapes don't make some more albums is one thing I don't understand because they still seem to sell,
Oh, like I said, I paid $25 and $35 for your first and second albums, respectively. And to me, it seems like there's still, at least in Houston, from what I've seen, a great demand for like your stuff.
Seems like that puts some more out. I really don't understand that.
You catch a couple of your stuff on like KPFT every now and then. You really will. And
well, yeah. I bet if somebody really wanted to make an effort to try to put an anthology together.
And we couldn't give them the master tapes that went up in the bonfire.
That 60s and the KO. There.
yeah, I was very, very disappointed in that show because they said, like, I was expecting to hear all this elevators, and I just told all my, called up about 3 people. I said, just, hey, you gotta listen, they're gonna play the elevators, and you gotta hear this, and then here it was just almost all Fever Tree.
Yeah, it was a Fever Tree promotion.
Fever Tree people when
Scott Vivian Holtzman,
What do you think of them?
Well, I've never really known them personally that much, so,
They were acting like they were in the competition with y'all.
They were acting like, that they were something big happening at the time, and they really weren't that much. I mean, they had that hit that was sounding pretty good and everything, but...
That San Francisco Bay, I was feeling some
yeah, San Francisco girl.
Really, there's no need for competition.
And I was down at the warehouse the other day, and they played 2 or 3 shows around town, and the guy said that so far he's heard the reports that the bands that played against were better than they were. Which is understandable, they haven't been together in a long, long time. But they don't seem to be doing that well right now.
Danny, you said that there's no need for
Well,
competition.
there's a market for everybody as long as they've got their act together. And I remember that competition thing. On the moon sidewalk in Billy Good.
Ah, yeah.
Some of that.
He lives around, I think, don't you?
Yeah,
Say that up
Right across the street.
Yeah, we moved like 3 months ago. Last March, something's been a year. But for about, since about 15 or 16 years.
But there was kind of an animosity.
Yeah,
Right,
Ford,
Right.
Ford.
Ray Lowe.
No, I don't believe so.
about 53, 114, something like that.
That's right around where we are. Right,
Do you know like Lloyd Carpenter or anything?
No.
They're probably figuring.
Between the groups at that time and from this social location. It really wasn't him.
Danny, well, when you were back there playing, like when y'all first starting out, did you feel competition, or did you feel like, well, we're just all working for art, we're all doing art, and there's, did you feel it or not?
Well, like talking about Scott Holsworth, when we used to do some of the teen shows and pushing the record on TV, and we'd bill at the same time with the Fever Tree or Holston would be around or something. It was kind of we'd get a kind of a sloppy reaction from other people because they felt as though we were doing something that was
Bad.
well, I think they just didn't understand it,
It's just different.
and you fear sometimes what you don't completely understand. But I was just learning it myself, Yeah. Because I was coming in on it after it already started. I wasn't in on the inception, so it was kind of a learning process for me. But I just gave in to it, committed myself to it, found out what was going on as much as I could handle.
And you're glad you did it, huh?
Oh, it made me into something that I wouldn't be otherwise, and I'm not.
Are you anticipating a really good concert?
Oh, a lot of fun, more than that. Yeah. I mean, we're going to get together a few days ahead of time and try to, work up enough material, revise it or whatever, to where it'll be suitable to the crowd. Like I was telling them earlier at the show here at Lava Steel years ago, everybody got together. It was the first time we'd seen each other that night at the show, bunches of us, and the memory of the music was a lot different. And each individual and all the changes kept popping up at different places and everything. It was really pretty sloppy, but we're going to try to keep that from happening this time and get together a few days in advance and see if we can, tighten it up. So it'll be a better show.
Are you at all worried about Rocky
Him turning up?
well, or turning up on acid?
Oh, no, I'm sure he'll be pretty spaced, but he has been for years. He still performs and everything. We'll probably do some of his material. And knowing Cecil, I think Cecil will hog time. So I think he'll be there. You know what I mean? Because Cecil's put quite a bit of promotion into this, buying all that beer and so forth, and promoting it to not let it come through. The original big worry I had was that Rocky would disappear again, like he was done, always has done. It's like he goes to a show if he feels like it,
Yeah, walks
that's
on
why
stage sometimes.
That's why he has a hard time keeping a group, because they get tired of turning up and no Rocky, and he just about has to have a babysitter hired with him to travel all the time. Like, he won't be there. You never know if he's going to be there or not. But I think Cecil will see to it that he's there.
It's still doubtful about Tommy then, right?
That's doubtful. I'm sure there'll be effort made, but I would imagine that's all that'll happen. Because they're paying expenses, for everybody to come. I don't know. I'm sure they would extend that to him if he would come, but I doubt it that it'll happen.
Like, do you think there's any chance if we showed up that we'll be able to meet like Rocky and the other members of the group?
Oh, sure. They'll just be roaming around getting drunk on the street with everybody else. It's just going to be a big party, outdoors. Yeah, he's got a wife and baby now. Nana's from Kerrville. Actually.
Rocky does?
He had a baby here early this year.
It's his first kid.
Uh-huh.
Young Eric.
Yeah. I think he has another kid here in Easton. I've never seen it, but it was a girl that he lived with for several years. I suppose that she has one of his kids, but I don't know for sure.
Wouldn't you think he was one of the most talented, distinct vocalists of anybody?
Still believe that. Still do. Yeah, you
You
bet.
always hear all the stuff
Hey,
about
that
the voice
voice
changing.
He was a dynamo that had more energy than nearly any white farmer I've ever seen as far as just sheer energy. I mean, like, man, when he screamed, it got you.
The way he could scream out like, "Where are you?" when he does that.
None of that was ever captured on wax, in my opinion, either. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, I mean, like, the real dynamic quality of his voice was never on wax, you know?
That's something that always puzzled me.
You have to hear that live, because he has really got power.
You ever listen to the live album?
What were you saying?
I heard it here a while back.
Listening to the first album and listening to it perform live, I would hear that. But then when we get the studio, like the intensity of Easter everywhere as far as his vocals was concerned, very insecure in comparison to what he would do when he was loose or when he would play guitar before he got rude.
Yeah, it sounded like he was shouting out more in the first album and stuff.
Yeah, well, something, too, that cramped him, though, about that was that Tommy's writing was kind of like trying to sing the encyclopedia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like to be soulful, and Rocky was used to rock and roll all his life, and then, stuff just from feeling and spontaneous movement with his voice. He used his voice like an instrument.
Yeah.
But when he was having to pronounce certain words and so forth, like he's reading an encyclopedia or something, it was hard for him to be soulful.
Wow. But like, this like just when he just starts screaming at the start of "You're Gonna Miss Me,"
Yeah,
that just kills me.
that just killed me too.
Yeah, an unbelievable range.
Uh-huh.
From his highest to his lowest.
He could imitate people too, man. I mean, just to a T.
What
He
was
could
his
take
best
over
imitation?
people's accents. Well, he did a real taste of Mick Jagger and a real taste of Buddy Holly.
Okay.
He could do Buddy Holly real well. He could do bunches of people, actually, but those were two of his best. And he could take their accent and everything,
I would say definitely that he was a superior vocalist to Jagger, because
I think he was more versatile for sure.
Because Jagger really doesn't have that much of a range, as far as going, like you hear the Stones live albums, they have like Richard sing harmony or something, and Jagger seems like he can scream just beautifully, but I mean, he can't really sing.
He was a master of magnetism. Jagger's faces and movements and everything, just his overall person.
Yeah,
one of the things that he contributed to his style of singing was when he was playing I think it was soccer or something, when he was a kid in high school. Bit his tongue off.
Yeah.
End of his tongue, and had to learn how to pronounce words again. I thought that was unusual.
We just saw a movie of his just last night. Performance.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that. It was a strange movie.
I haven't seen it.
Well, it was just for like a midnight movie. I'm sure we'll be back. It's one of the regulars, around the
I like some of the tunes in that movie. That memo from Turner.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
The Hound Dog.
Yeah, there's one where it's just Jagger and an acoustic guitar, and he said, "Woke up this morning, somebody's knocking at my door, and he didn't mess around in my kitchen," or something like that. I said that was worth the price of admission, just to see him down there with that acoustic guitar doing the blues.
That was an unusual movie. I remember that. I saw it years ago in Austin.
Remember the blonde, German chick?
Yeah.
Was around. That's Anita. That's Keith's.
Richard's wife.
Right.
Yeah. He got busted here recently in Arkansas again.
Oh yeah, for a knife and all that.
Some heroin too.
How did he just didn't show up for the court, right?
I don't know. I haven't heard any more about it. I haven't seen anything about it in the paper. I haven't heard how it all came out, but I just remember him getting popped.
That guy.
A year or so back. I can't remember when it was. Might have been. I mean, it was a drug bust. So.
It amazes me that Richard,
He sure gets hit a lot.
even though he's as big as he is, it amazes me that guy isn't in jail yet because you know, he's been.
Well, he did 4 months one time on his second
Well, that
bust.
was in '67 though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I don't know how many times it's been popped. Seems like about 4 or 5 now. I guess from getting busted in different continents. I don't know how, and money. Getting out of it.
I guess it's something you wish you had more of when you were getting busted up.
Yeah. You can always use more.
But wouldn't you say that in a way you're really better off than the people who got your money? I mean, not financially, but possibly spiritually. It maybe.
I would hope so. That would be consolation.
Well, you know.
I saw him a while back here in town driving down the street. It was unusual. Pull up to him and chatted over a few beers.
Who's this?
Noble Ginther, Bill Dillard, 2 lawyers that own my company. And Dillard is in Nashville right now working for Porter Wagner. And he's involved in the studio up there, and he was telling me if I ever got a group again, come up, we'll be glad to cut you. Porters, you know.
What did you say?
Said might do that, you know, but I don't think I want a second round of it.
I can't even.
We
Quite
do.
a million.
Quote of the year. I think I said enough.
Oh, that was Larry.
Yeah.
Met Timothy Leary a while back, too, at
Ah.
his house over here.
Really?
Yeah, and I asked him if he wanted some mushrooms. He said, no thanks, I believe I've had enough.
Yeah, what do you think about
Migration.
space migration and all that?
Well, I listened to a little bit of his show, but didn't think about it.
Yeah. I missed that.
Yeah. I think it's really the only possibility left for this planet.
Well,
He doesn't give any means how to do that. But we got the space shuttle now, you know, so that's going to make it real possible. Just when you think about it, if we're to do for war on this planet, it just may totally.
Noah's Ark number 2.
Yeah.
Huh?
Noah's Ark number 2.
Yeah.
Not only that, but
Get into some ball
if
or
you really
something.
look at it, speculatively, it's really inevitable because even if there's no nuclear war and nothing like that happens, there's only so much space, and though it seems like water's infinite, time passes and people are being born, and pretty soon, eventually, it may be centuries, but eventually we're gonna have to leave.
Oh, yeah, they'll stop.
Spaceships, they might be
Having kids will be illegal at a point, you know that.
It's going to be the
And they'll start killing off the old and diseases probably again or whatever.
Hitler comes.
Well,
Yeah,
if they quit, how can the race go on if they quit having kids?
Oh, well, there'll only be
Just 2
a
each.
select
One
be allowed, at certain intervals. That's when so many
die.
die off, they can have so many kids this year,
That's very Hitlerian.
It'll probably be necessary, though.
We still got a lot of race.
What do you think about
Won't be enough food.
What do you think about just like curiosity? What do you think about abortion?
That's a really hard thought. I believe in it myself. I'm not absolutely sure of it from a moral standpoint, but I think it's without a doubt sane. It's like
you do or don't believe it's a matter of
well, it's like I have mixed feelings about it, but I believe in it. Yeah, I think it's wise to have abortion.
It'd be a whole lot
Under
desirable to
circumstances.
just stop conception.
Right.
You can't, rather than having unwanted children.
It's better to have abortion.
Bringing up the kids.
Almost impossible to think about it if you're not willing to do it.
Really hard.
But look at all the great artists, like say, look at John Lennon. He was saying when he was a very unwanted kid, his dad didn't want him. His mother died. He suffered, the tortures of them. But out of all that suffering, out of all that pain, came all that great artistic expression. Perhaps where would any of us, where would it all be without him? So
He married a lady who aborted most of her children.
yeah, Yoko.
She had 3 or 4 abortions, I think.
Yeah, but still, it's something that I agree. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
mixed emotions.
infinitely debatable.
Okay, let me ask you a
You know?
question. See what the response is. Is it all right to intentionally go ahead and let the thing develop and give it birth, the child, and make it our responsibility. You see, the society's responsibility to take care of. Is that fair to society? Is that fair to other people? For somebody to make a mistake and conceive and bring a life into the earth and say, okay, I'm not going to here, give it to an institution, let the institution pay for it. Is that, that's
I think
is that right?
Also, where is conception actually?
right. Well,
like abortion is pre-birth, and we don't know where the vehicle, the earthly body
okay,
actually.
I'm going on the presupposition that it is alive, because there have been instances where they get abortion and the thing it struggled, made movements.
Yeah, but a semen is a living
yeah
organism too. Organism. I mean,
well, it's
but it's certainly not a child until it's
true. Well, I would say this. I would say that if you did believe, say, that abortion is murder, and that is, debatable. They haven't proved they're made that believe one way or the other, that are very experienced doctors and what have you. I would say that it would be much more just to bring him into the world with, because, to a degree, you have to have a degree of compassion and love. I think that's the only hope for any of us. If everybody worries, you said, injustice has happened to me. But if everybody worries about what is, every little thing, if you don't have a little, love and, compassion, then, we'll never get anywhere. And, I would say that it would be, if it is murder, but it hasn't, many people argue convincingly that it is, others argue convincingly that it isn't. But if it is, I would say it would be much more just to bring it into the world than to terminate what
to allow its own destiny, huh?
Yeah, what could be, passing, his right pass into the universe.
Every one of the sayers
You
of the
know,
world.
some of these children, they get abused all the time, and you do that all the time. Got young children being broke and
Right.
and their parents.
Yeah, to be raised by the state and orphanage and everything. I mean, that's really a pity too.
Life is
only hot sauce and stuff, and she finally died and all.
life is very painful. Like what was it? Some group here said, it's a bad life. That I don't want to die yet. So perhaps I've had more painful experiences than pleasant ones.
But nature's catching up with science. For a while there, nature made us super fertile like a lot of animals because there were so many hazards. Before, like 100 years ago, if a woman had 10 children, 5 of them might live to adulthood.
Right.
But today, with antibiotics and everything like that, better medical care, better nutrition, we still have the fertility that we had hundreds of years ago when we needed it. But now we don't have the death rate. So I think nature's beginning to catch up in venereal diseases. There's been a sudden
Well, in a lot of ways, look at the lifespan too. I mean, the lifespan
right,
is much
so
younger
nature's going to
now.
fight back. They're going to natural causes are going to sterilize more people and slow down the reproductive rate.
Kill them off
right
quicker.
Now it's in the balance is still messed up.
You can see, for instance, how the population of India is just disastrous. What's happening over there? However, even so, I would think it would be unjust, even though it's horrible situation there. I cannot see what they've done with a lot of them, just grabbing a man, handcuffing him, and taking him and forcing him. Gandhi's done that. I heard that she just go into a village, just get all the males, round up the males, and you have her just round up the males, tie them up, and just forcibly take them to clinics and sterilize them for the kingdom. That's really.
That was probably a major reason for her downfall.
I think she was hurt with that. What do you think of who is it? She was supposed to stand for who is her? Well,
Mahatma.
Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi, who freed India from Britain. Only to have it, I don't think he did that. Only to have it come back and tell him I don't believe that you should overthrow a corrupt, fascist or capitalist government and replace it with a communist totalitarianism.
Same thing. The individualism is right.
Despotism. you're taking orders. If it's, no matter what ideas behind it, if you're taking orders and then other freedoms, didn't matter whether they're flying the swastika or hammering the circuit. That's just my feeling. Like the airplane would be saying stuff like,
Tear down the wall.
yeah, they would be saying stuff like, kill the pigs, look what they do to your freedom. But then when they got really heavy into Maoism, they'd be saying stuff, they'd be supporting what would be just another dictatorship.
They were offering money to Indian women to come to clinics for IUD, so they'd come in, they'd get an IUD, they'd go home, and they'd pull it out, and they'd go back and get pregnant after they had another baby. Well, what are you going to do when you've got people who are so ignorant they don't realize the cause of their hunger and misery?
Most of the problem in the world is ignorance. People and stuff they don't know.
Also, a lot of that has to do with the Hindu religion. They believe that all life is, they believe all life is sacred.
Well, they're all starving and they have all these cows roaming around everywhere.
Right, they won't kill the cows if they don't. If you're pure Hindu, I don't think you're supposed to kill even a bun or something like that.
Had to be sort of pushed into it. I'm all starving.
I think that would be the answer to preventative.
Yeah.
No,
I definitely think
than abortion.
But I definitely believe in just mass, education. A lot of it's due to such ignorance, And I think there should be, a lot of money spent on like programs for the prevention, and but an abortion is just very undesirable.
Sure, man, you're right.
Stacy, do you think it'd be too much trouble playing the guitar?
I can play a tune or two. Like, I mainly play with people.